All right, hello. Welcome to Otis Frampton Live. Today is Friday, so that means it's a. Oops. That's weird. Oh, okay, we're good. That means it's a Making and Talking Comics episode. And today on the drawing board for comics is a page of The Patchwork Girl of Oz. That I think I inked part of this on the show. Maybe Monday. I forget which day it was, but I think I inked part of this on the show. So follow up. Sorry about that. Just getting all set up here tech wise. So I'm going to be coloring this page for about 45 minutes. Then we'll switch over to talking about some comics. And today, I'm going to do something different today because I was reminded of a comic that I don't think of as a comic, but it is earlier this week. And I'll tell you about that later. So let me just jump in here and get started. If you are in the chat on Rumble or YouTube, please feel free to chat with me. I'll be watching that chat. All right, here we go. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is actually go back and grab a color from here. Whoops. Let's do that. Undo that. Yikes. I forget. Do I have that saved? Where's my Oz? Yeah, it is. It is here, isn't it? Yeah, I already had it. Well, that serves me right. It's the main sort of. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there we go. Yeah, main background color. But it's really only going to be used for this one panel. This the second and third and fourth panels are all a flashback, and I'm going to change the way that the panel borders are and make them a little more sort of textury and give it kind of a sepia toned look. Well, maybe not sepia tone. For previous panels, let me show you something here. For the previous panels where I had Margaret describing another character, I did, separate colors. Maybe I'll instead of sepia tone, I'll go with like a purple because it's sort of on brand for the characters. I'm not sure yet. These are the kind of things you got to think about. So let's. That's one reason why there's not a lot of background in these. There's going to be lots of dialogue. So, and also I want it to be sort of loosey goosey with. Oh, there's foreground text. Yeah, forgot I got to move that somewhere else. Still arranging. I didn't do the usual thing where I did the word balloons. And now I'm wondering why I didn't do that. So I'm gonna move that there. Move this here. Yeah. Sorry. Some of these Making Comics shows are really going to be nitty-gritty detailed stuff because this is the kind of work that I don't normally do on the show. So but I'm just trying to move the ball forward. And instead of doing like specific, this is how I do this. This is how I do that for these Making and Talking comic shows. I'm just doing whatever is on the agenda for the day. And this is what was on the agenda. So All right, glasses on. Yikes. Okay. First thing I need to do is get in here and fix some things. My flatter delivered this this page to me. Yeah, she got it right actually. Delivered this page to me yesterday, I think it was. She's my able flatter, and she's good at it. She's a good flatter. Like, she'll notice things like this. She sent me a note. She'll send me notes on things I miss because she's so used to the pages by now. So right now I'm just fixing things that need fixing. And some of these colors are going to change. Like this, I don't think that's the right color. These are though. So first, let's fix that cuff thing. Because I didn't need to go through all that problem or all that business to do that. It's an easier fix than I anticipated. So let's fix the colors here. And thank you for the note. Appreciate that. All right. There's also some colors in here I gotta add. Let me grab my color reference real quick. Where are you? Is this it? Yeah, we'll take this. Sometimes I'll just grab like layers and throw them into my color reference and then just paste them in. Where is it? Is paste them into the page I'm working on, like that. There. Now I have colors for that I want to use. Change that. Same with this. Let's throw that in there. Actually, hold on. Yeah, just making sure that's the right colors. Whoops. Okay, that's good. Oh, but actually, is it the right color? I gotta look and see. It's probably not. That's okay. I'll fix it later. Get to the stuff that. There we go. So, is this the same color? Yeah. Oops. Come on. I think I might need to change my change my reading glasses prescription. I'm having a hard time focusing. Don't know why. Let's see if the stronger pair will help me out. Might just be that I need to move the camera. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I am going to slide the camera a little bit, so bear with me. Oh, come on. Sorry about that. I need some room for my head. Unfortunately, that creates a slightly different angle on it, but you know, what you gonna do? All right, let's get going here. So actually, another thing I wanted to do, now that I saw this page colored, I was thinking of I think maybe I need his other leg in there. You know, it looks like he only has one leg. Again, I could have just done this without penciling it in. I don't know why I'm so reluctant. Let's just go for it here. Get no, there. Let's move this down. There. There, that's better. Hey, Donald, how you doing? Thanks for joining me on YouTube today. Much appreciated. Actually, just thinking about you, just not just because I just retweeted a couple of things related to you. What was I doing here? Sorry. The comic that I'm going to be talking about later on, I'm going to be talking about it because of something that we were discussing earlier in the week. Bet you can guess what it is. But I don't see what it is yet. I want to keep the mystery alive because there's so much mystery. But I recently pulled my copy of it from my shelf and was like, you know what? I think I'm going to talk about this because I plan on reading it again too. And boy, it is a worn copy. It's a worn copy. Hoping that today's stream saves to YouTube. For some reason, for the first time, I had an issue where my live stream yesterday didn't automatically save to my YouTube channel. It streamed it. I was watching it stream in real time, but for some reason it didn't save. I had to download it from Rumble and then upload it as its own video. Whoops. But I also noticed that for the first time today, YouTube registered this stream as an upcoming stream, which it never had before. So maybe YouTube changed something yesterday, like they were updating something right when I was streaming, and it cause some issues. I don't know. But now that every time I pre-plan a stream like I always do, it'll show up, which is nice. I like that. Thank you, YouTube. Let's look at my reference for this, see how I... I think I did too much there. That's better. Anyway, I'm looking forward to leafing through the comic that I'm going to be talking about today. I haven't done that in a while. I haven't pulled it out in a while. And that's really unfortunate because it's one of those that I think should be read, like once a year. I must have missed last year because of my health troubles. Trying to match the lighting because the light source is in these panels is you can see it. It's the sort of glowing, bubbly stuff that's in front of them here. Just trying to match the lighting from previous pages. In case you're wondering what the heck I'm doing. Totally tear, isn't it? Says Donald. No, it is not. I don't even think I own that anymore. I owned it at one point, but I don't think I kept it. I think that went to Half Price Books. But Mr. Miller's work is going to be talked about, that's for sure, sometime on this show. In fact, when I was getting the book from today, I also leafed through my copy of that's not right. Dark Knight. What's it called? Absolute Dark Knight. That's what it is. Why did I not know that? God, I love that book. So Dark Knight, and I will be talked about, and I will definitely be using the absolute version. Let's see those big pages. This doesn't look right despite it matching, so I'm gonna alter the deal and pray I don't alter it further. That looks a little better. I think this is the first time doing the layout on this page. I think it's the first time I've drawn this character not in his sort of, twisted. It's called the crooked magician. That's what he's called in the book. It's weird to see him standing up straight. Dark Knight is another book I haven't read in a while that I think I should solve that again. Doing these Makin and Talkin comic shows. I've said this on the show, but it's been great for me. It's almost like therapy. It's like, this is what I loved about comics, not the silliness that often permeates the business these days. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's different for other people, but I don't read as many comics anymore since I became a pro. It's just one of those things. I buy comics still. I look at a lot of comics for the art, but I don't sit down and read them as much. Which, that it shouldn't be that way. It's not. I'm not saying that because I'm proud of it or anything. It's just the way it is. But I've heard similar things from other comic pros saying, "Yeah, I'm so busy making comics that oftentimes I don't sit down and just read for pleasure anymore. What I'd like to do is, if I ever had time, take the time to sit and read the big story arcs that I love. The long Claremont run up to about issue 200 of Uncanny X-Men, John Byrne's run on Fantastic Four, first, say, 30 issues of the Dreadstar, which if you've never read Dreadstar, you should. It's a great sci-fi comic. And the first, it's Jim Starlin's creator-owned book that he first did with Epic. It's one of the first Epic books from the early 80s. And then he took it to Eclipse, I think, for the rest of the run. And he only drew, I think, maybe 5 or 6 issues during that run, and then passed off the art chores and the writing chores, I think, to Peter David. I don't know the artist. It It's not crazy. It did never felt the same, so I didn't keep reading it. But that first, say, like 30 or so issues, it's a really great story arc. Really good. Oh, see, I did it again. I'm defaulting to like how I've shaded this guy in the past, and I shouldn't. Didn't intend for this guy to look like an elderly Wolverine. It's just the way, I wanted to give him a unique hairstyle that make him look a little crazed, a little off his nut. It's funny, when I was a kid, I was an aspiring comic creator, like when I was between the ages of 9 and 15, and then then I jumped to age 21 or 2, I think. High school, I thought I wanted to get into film and stuff, and I went to film school for a little bit, film program. But I fell back in love with comics during that time. Anyway, one of the things I found hardest to what am I doing? More frustrating to draw was hair. I don't know why, but hair always sort of frustrated me. And now it's one of my favorite things to draw, because I tend to think of hair, and you can really see it. See it in all the examples of the characters that I've designed for the Patchwork Girl. I treat it like what if I treat my characters like, what if I designed characters that were meant to be stop motion animated characters or CGI characters, and that helps me think of the hair as something to be sculpted. You can really see it and treat them like shapes, like here especially. I find a shape for the hair, and I go with that. Even Cowardly Lion has. I gave him hair that looks like he's always frightened. But once I treated it like it's a character on its own, it really fell into place how to do it. Whereas prior to that, it frustrated me because I think I was trying to draw it too literally. And there's your design lesson for the day. But that also plays into when you're designing characters, you really should make your characters pass the silhouette test, which is, if you can show them in silhouette and still know who they are, that's a well-designed character. I think I did a good job with these. I mean, each one has their own shape. Not one of them is similar. They're maybe similar to the way I draw, female face shapes and female eyes, but I don't think you'll ever confuse the characters for one another just based on a silhouette of them. So there's another tip. Make sure your characters pass the silhouette test. Okay. Well, that silhouette, or the shapes that I make for my character sometimes gets me in trouble when I have to turn the character around, because sometimes they look great from one angle, but not so much from another. So that's one reason why I also usually, once I design a character, do turnarounds if I need to Yeah, that's sort of an animation thing. You draw character turnarounds where you see him from, you know, every vantage point. That way you know how you're going to draw them. That can be really helpful. In the case of this character, I actually designed him with this drawing when I drew him this way, and because he's called the Crooked Magician, I had to make him look sort of like his limbs are going at all angles, and then later on I had to like draw him standing up. So I'm like, well, he's got to still retain a little bit of that. So I had him sort of has legs at the bottom sort of go like that, just to give a hint that he's still the Crooked Magician. Whoops. My wife didn't know that this was a flashback, so she kept the gray streak in. I want to show that she's a little younger when they did this. But I gave her this sort of Bride of Frankenstein stripe in her hair because she's the mad scientist's wife. And big curly hair, which is fun. Oops. Notice my wife missed something. Not a complaint, dearest. I love you. You're the best flatter. Looks like I forgot something there too. Just the little things. So I didn't draw the character all the way down here because I thought I might fade him into the background here, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to wait to do that. Kind of wanted top of the cat to stick out, so I thought I'd do a little bit of a fade there. But I'm guessing my wife wasn't aware of what I was doing, so she just thought I was making a dumb mistake again. It's a good guess, honey. Oh, where am I going? Oh, you know what? I'm just going to do this. It's getting too busy in there with the details. So I'll just cover it all up there. There we go. That's better. It's almost time to talk comics. Oh, what am I doing? Let's do this. I kind of wanted to. I drew him sort of like, at rest and peaceful. But when he's doing magic, it gets all, that's when his true personality comes out. All right. Going into, oh, there we go. Some of the subsequent shading, or the subsequent, I don't know what I'm talking about. Secondary is what I meant to say. But we're getting close to Talkin comics time. It goes by so fast. I guess we don't even have time for this. Yeah, I think it is time to switch things up. All right, so that's as far as we've gotten on this page. But it actually shouldn't take that much longer to color this page. These two pages don't really even have a background. This one's going to have sort of a futzy background, so to speak. I got a little bit there, but I'm going to draw a little bit more. And where is it? This one has sort of a magical explosion background. So there we are with that. Okay. Let's switch things up. Give me 1 second. Okay, so today on the Talkin Comics part of things, let me straighten the camera so those lines don't freak anybody out. I wouldn't want that. Today, I'm going to be talking about this, Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics, which is a comic. It's it's a graphic novel. It's in comic form. You can see, but it's much more than that. Let's change the temperature on this here. There we go. I want it to be so yellow. So earlier this week, somebody asked me if there were any books that I would recommend to aspiring comic creators, and I listed 8 different books, all good. But if you are an aspiring comic creator, this is where you need to start. Look how worn this copy is. I've had it since '93 when it came out, which is the year after I got back into comics and decided I wanted to make comics. So this hit the stands right when it needed to for me, and it was a revelation. Scott McCloud is a comic artist, and well, what else would you call him? An innovator, an educator. He has 3 books out about comics called, first one was Understanding Comics, then was Making Comics, and I think the third was called Reinventing Comics. I've only read that one once, and it was about how the internet and the web could change comics. A lot of his ideas in that one didn't come to pass, but this one, the second one is Making Comics, which is more of a nuts and bolts thing about the actual making of the comic pages. Also great, but Understanding Comics is what you want to read if you want to know how to be a visual storyteller, really of any kind. I mean, it applies equally to animation, illustration, advertising in some cases, but it's mainly about comics, and it is a great read. It's beautifully drawn, very simply drawn, with Scott drawing himself as the narrator, and he takes you through, explaining what he thinks comics are. From their inception. Let's get to starting way back. Here with hieroglyphics and all that. And he takes you through the history of visual storytelling, and it's all really great stuff. Really great. But he takes you through, he talks about iconography in relation to comics and how, there are varying levels of realism and how they can affect the storytelling itself. Iconography, great stuff. But let me get to where this is it. There's one chapter in particular that, to me, is the heart of the book. And this chapter 3 called Blood in the Gutter. Sounds terrible, but it's true. And it's all about what happens panel to panel or page to page or, double page spread, double page spread, whatever you're doing to change one image or moment to another. It's all about that. And this, to me, if you're only going to read one part of this book, this is the one to read. He breaks it down really simply, so simple that this is comics. I think that's what he uses as the these 2 panels themselves. That's comics. One moment, the next moment, and there's a time period in between, which is the gutter. But he takes you through analyzing what happens between panels and how sometimes the reader will be forced to interpret what happens between the panels. What happened between this and this? Are they even connected? He says here, see that space between the panels? That's what comics aficionados have named the gutter. And despite its unceremonious title, the gutter plays host to much of the magic and mystery that are at the heart of comics. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. This book is so dead on when it comes to analyzing comic book storytelling, and I wouldn't lie about that. I promise. Like I said, Reinventing Comics, I thought he got a lot wrong. I thought he got a lot wrong at the time about what comics were going to become. The Infinite Can't Miss comic revolution never really came about. Sorry, Scott, but in this book, man, it's great writing, it's great comic making, it's great analysis. He describes, this here from a very early stage. We are taught to think in moments like that, experience moments like that. He takes you through all the analysis of it, and again, worth a read. But so here we get to the meat of the chapter itself, where he talks about and analyzes the different types of panel to panel transitions. He says there's 6 of them: moment to moment, action to action, subject to subject, scene to scene, aspect to aspect, and non sequitur. And in these 1, 2, 3 pages, this is everything, every tool you need to tell comic book storytelling to one degree or another. I mean, obviously, no book can tell everything, and there's a lot of stuff that you will find that you make up on your own as you work on comics, or discover from other comic creators that take these fundamental rules and bend them and break them in ways that are interesting. But this is the essence of comic storytelling. This is so number one, moment to moment. It can be as simple as closing the eyes, or moving towards or zooming into a planet, or a spider crawling up towards it. This is action. Baseball player standing to swinging the bat. Here's pouring the drink, drinking the drink, and the reaction to the drink. Or driving and then crash, moment to moment, here to here. Number 3 is subject to subject. And so this is actually, I mean, this first example actually could be another example of scene to scene, depending on how you interpret it, but I understand what he's saying here. So you go from one subject in the frame to a different one. Same thing here. He shows the 3 subject-to-subject transition. What more could go wrong, says the guy with the Charlie Brown t-shirt. Well, at least Jerry never called, says the woman, and then cut to the phone. It rings. Subject. Same here. Runner to the stopwatch. Number 4, scene to scene. And obviously, it's self-explanatory, but he shows great examples. The detective, he can never outrun us forever. Cut to 10 years later. And here's literally geography. You're cutting from Bombay to Paris to New York. Again, this could actually, in some ways, be subject, but it's properly placed here, I think. And then the third example, no one could have survived that crash. Sniff, sniff, you're right. Meanwhile, on the island, scene. And I think that he distinguishes them, based on different, it being a different scene. This one, clearly he meant these two things to be related, but they really don't have to be. Like, what if you cut from the murder in progress to this, and then it turns out that it's somebody unrelated to the scene screaming? So there are variations on that. All right, moving on to number 5, aspect to aspect. This is where you're showing different parts of the same scene, but time passes between them. So you have this establishing shot of Christmas tableau, and then you cut to a close-up of the snow globe, the Santa in the snow globe, or you see the sun, cut to the person shading themselves from the sun, then back to maybe the point of view of that person. Aspect to aspect, same here. You see the paraphernalia of a party, and then you cut to the party goers. And finally, number 6, which is non sequitur, which you can. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to connect. That's what it means, non sequitur. Sputnik to American Gothic. A man, a tree, and fish. Nixon and a Picasso. So I don't really want to do too much more explaining about this book, except to say that I love this analysis here. Sorry, where this is actually really cool. Where he analyzes various American comics and where they fall on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can tell that a lot of it is action to action in American comics, whereas I guess it is the same. Similar results. Look at that. But he does more. Anyway, understanding comics, it's the primer. It is, Scott McCloud, he nailed it. I have this, a dog ate this. I wonder why I did that. But I must have wanted to come back here for something. I haven't looked at this book in a long time. Maybe 2 or 3 years, which I need to rectify. Here's a great example. Here's a story. He tells this long story. Then he shortens it here, and then he shortens it here, and then he gets it down to 2 panels. So he shows you, what can be done with comics. And when he talks about comics, I think he means visual storytelling in general, but comics is his thing, and it's mainly about comics. But again, it could be applied to other kinds of things. There's so much more to this book. That was just chapter 3. There's so much more time frames. Very cool. Some conventions of the medium, and he's got lots of great examples in here too. It's a great book. I don't know what else to say. I really don't, other than you should get it. Oh, here's a section on color. I forgot there was a color section. It doesn't delve too much into it, but it's there. Understanding comics, you gotta get it. I will say one thing, Scott, come on, man, come out with the Kindle version, or at least a digital version that we can buy. This needs to be on the iPads of every aspiring comic creator. It's got to be there. I want to buy it again, so put it out digitally, please. You're such a proponent of digital distribution and all that good stuff, and digital experimentation in comics. Get it to our iPads, man. We gotta have this. In the meantime, though, as you can see, I will have my very, very well-worn and well-read copy of this always nearby. It is a great read. If you're an aspiring comic creator, this should be the first thing. The next thing you read is this, Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. And that is all for today. I'll be back Monday with another episode of Makin and Talkin Comics. And not sure what I'll talk about then, but it'll be more in line with, comic book storytelling. It'll be something. You know what? I'm looking at one right now behind me. I think I already have it picked out. So I'll be here again Monday, 1 p.m. Central. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff on Rumble, YouTube, and X. I'm Otis Frampton on all 3. And have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.